go to the Arizona Gazette, Friday evening, March 12, 1909. It talks about the Egyptians being in the Grand Canyon, exploration in the Grand Canyon. It talks about it right there. All right, the Egyptians came to the Grand Canyon around 1700 BC. This is proof by the fact that there are 18 temples in Arizona at the Grand Canyon. Below in the article from Arizona Gazette, Friday, March 12, 1909, also in the astrological cover-ups. Guess who that's by? That's right. And he perhaps the most amazing suppression of all is the excavation of the Egyptian tombs by the Smithsonian itself in Arizona. A lengthy front page story of the Phoenix Gazette, April 5th, 1909, gave a highly detailed report of the discovery and excavation of the rock-cut vault by an expedition led by Professor S.A. Jordan of the Smithsonian. Guess what? The Smithsonian said we don't know nothing about him nor of his expedition. Right? Continue on.
And that removal happened right after that article came out.
Yeah.
For a very short period of time.
Yeah. So, Albert Churchward did his book, The Origin and Evolution of the Freemasonry Connection with the Origin and the Evolution of the Human Race. So Masonry been around as long as the human race been around, according to Albert Churchward. And he tells go back and he tells you who did it, the pygmy, who evolved in the central Africa of the sources of the Nile and the Nile Valley, and from here all originated and was carried throughout the world. So when the guys was talking about the Moorish Empire stemmed all the way back to the Pygmies, as they are the ones who spread it throughout the world and brought the Freemasonry information that's speculative and operative into the world. All right, that's what happened, and that the most primitive phase of mythology is the mode representing the certain elemental powers by means of living types in which were superhuman, like the natural phenomena. All right. Now we come down. The Egyptian wisdom rushed to the fact that the Pygmies were the earliest humans, and because of the earliest divine man known in the mythology, is portrayed as a pygmy. All right. That is the statue Bes, B-E-S. That's in Egypt. The Nalic Negroes formed a society which still exists among them and is divided into two classes: the operative, which is the artisans, and the workers, and the priests, which is number two, and who possess a secret cult. In other words, a secret society. So the secret society is still going on. This is how the Moors inherited the secret society of Masonry: operative and speculative. All right, that's the esoteric and the exoteric. All right, so these are the grades of the students in the mystery school. The Egyptian mysteries, they had 3 grades of students. You had the mortals, which was probationary students who was being instructed, but who had not yet experienced the inner vision. Then you had the intellects or intelligence, those who had obtained the inner vision and had received mind or nous. Then you had the creators. All right, these are the creators. These are the highest Masons.
Adepts.
These are the highest Masons, adepts, or sons of light, who had become identified with or united with the light, i.e. the true African spiritual consciousness. This is what has been going throughout the world, and I'm showing you the schools right now. How you know? Because it's in the book Stolen Legacy by George D. James, who was a Mason and who told the secrets, and therefore he got it from his ear and his throat to his other ear slit, and his tongue pulled out for revealing the secrets.
Next time.
All right? You had a question, guys? You wanted to say something?
So the little people built the big stuff.
Well, remember, they was big at one time.
Yeah, they were big.
So they built those steps when they was big. But as they shrunk in size,
yeah, because the oxygen.
Now you see the pyramids that can go to the marl.
Yeah, right.
Oh, as they shrunk in size.
Right.
But if they were using sound to lift stuff, you know what I'm saying?
But
They had the knowledge.
The masonry part never left them. They're still the ones who brought the masonry information to the world. So yes, whatever technology that they had with the lasers and with the lifting of sound technology, which is bypassing
and
the
they still
gravitational cord.
hide that very well because people are still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, go back. Okay, so right here, consequently, Europe Masons took a blood oath not to reveal it to the children of Moors who they really were. This is by Brother Hasim El-Bey, and this is in his book, what your history books fail to tell you. Nevertheless, this truth was revealed in a phenomenal book, basically Stolen Legacy by George James, and he says the Moors were the custodians or protectors of the ancient Sumerian Egyptian mysteries, called the Hakka or the teachers of Tahuti. All right, that's who that was. All right, continue on, please. And so right here, he tells you in there that the Grand Lodge of Egypt came in with the Temple of Karnak, and that they charted the information to who? The Native Americans. All right. The Olmecs, Mayans, Aztecs, Incas, Toltecs, and etc. of North, Central, and South America, i.e. Mexico. Central and South America. So this is where the ancient mystery school information traveled all over the world, is through these schools right here that I'm showing you. This is where the mystery schools were located at. So hence, when you see the goddess's presentation, now you know exactly where the information was branched out. So you see Spain, you see Portugal, you see Madrid, you see
Scotland,
England, and right, Scotland and Ireland and India and so forth and so on, because these was charted. So where? Native Americans. So I'm gonna show you who the Native American was. It was the Olmecs, because the Olmecs was, as God told us yesterday, they were all the mothers and fathers of the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incas, and the Toltecs. So these are the parents, the Olmecs. So this is the ones who brought the ancient mystery school information here to the Americas. Here, Central and South America, the Crete, which is Manoa, later known as Greece, Athens, Delphi, Erstris, which is later known as Rome, which is the Etruscans. All right, so the Etruscans and the Minoans are the ones who had the information, which they was actually dark-skinned people: Croton, Rhodes, Miletus, Cyprus, also Carthage, Medina, near the Red Sea, Palestine, Syria, which is in Lebanon. Remember, talk about Lebanon, Babylon, India. See, they go to India. They go to portion of India and Burma. All right. So Socrates, father of Western philosophy, Aristotle, Euripides, Hermes, Homer, Herodotus, Pythagoras, Thales, and also Hippocrates, and etc. all received their knowledge from the Egyptians. Priesthood, known as the ancient Egyptian mysteries, i.e. the Temple University of Waset and Ibis Asu. All right, so what happened was that, but now I'm gonna tell you, my good friend Professor Walter Williams, he got a new book coming out, and he says that the so-called Greek philosophers did not actually physically exist.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We went that's what they told us when
Yeah.
we went to Greece.
Wow.
Yeah, last
That's
year.
right.
What?
Yeah, they told us.
What?
All of them were mythology.
It's
Yeah.
mythology.
Yes.
It's mythology.
Mythical.
Right,
Yeah.
allegorical for the people who spread out into the ancient mystery schools.
Yeah, and
They basically was telling you how the teachers got into those areas. They always form a name, as the guys were showing you, that they had to put a name on it somehow. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happened. All right, so right here.
And then who came back and stole?
What you mean?
As we taught somebody, and then they came back and stole our stuff, right? That's
Yeah, they reconstructed history. They told us that during the Reconstruction.
Yeah, they said it. Reconstruction, history.
Right after
Civil War.
the election was free from slavery, 1865. By 1868, you had the passing 3 years later. You had the passing of the 14th Amendment, and then all of a sudden, which was never fully ratified. So that's a right, all right, because Congress never reconvened. So therefore, they never put it out before the rest of the so-called states. So therefore, that's why. And then the Congress of Assembly was never called back into session. And then all of a sudden, you had the United States Congress. Hold up, but the United States Congress is different than the Congress of Assembly. They're not the same. One is de jure, one is de facto. You put the de facto, and then you put the de facto law out called the 14th Amendment, which we never said that, hey, we like that.
It was never ratified.
It was never ratified. Who you ratified it with? You ain't ratified that with us.
That's right.
So,
You know what I'm saying? So that's dead. So then all of a sudden the Reconstruction period comes, right? And then by the early 1900s, Reconstruction period is over. Then they give you Jim Crow by what? By installing KKK in order to terrorize us, lynch us, steal our property, and so forth. So, and then the KKK come in the same outfit as the Salamanca Moors. The Salamanca Moors was those same ones who wore the exact same outfit as the KKK, and they read the Quran. The KKK read the Chloran. Kloran. Chloran.
Oh.
You see this? So they are Christians, but they also Masons. So until you woke back up, the secrets cannot be revealed to you. It is only, I'll give you a good example. We had a good friend who rode with Aminu Brother Ramani from out of Maryland. What was the brother name? You remember? But he told us a story. But he told us a story. And he said, look, as I was younger, he said I almost got strung up and got killed by the Klan. They said they had a rope around my neck, and I told them that I'm a Moor. When I told them that I was a Moor, they took the rope from around his neck, and he said, he's not a nigga, he's a Moor.
Because he had his nationality card.
He had his nationality card. So he said that's what saved his life, was that he said he was a Moor. So that means that the KKK respect Moorish information because that's what they was installed in order to keep from the Negro, blacks, and coloreds. But if you don't want to become a Moor and you want to remain Negro, black, and colored, then you remain to be terrorized by the Klan. Because that's their oath that they took to keep you from getting that information.
And they cops, and they cops too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's why they own the cops. That's why they own cops.
To legally lynch. Till that's legal lynching when they kill us.
And you're not a Mason, Moorish Mason, then you get no respect. But once you do, and you know who you are, just like that's why we just opened up a little in the little town, we opened up Juice and More. Now what? Yeah, right.
They're not gonna bother you.
Exactly.
They're not gonna bother you.
No, they come over and get food. Yeah, I want a raw pizza. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So we showed you that the empire spread it throughout. So now we show you some of the code names that they had hidden from you in history, and you thought it wasn't you. So right here, I would like to take the space to add some of the other names and empires attributed to the Moors in order to help out in your studies to identify what they was reading about Moors is as follows: the Almoravids, the Almoravids. All right, this is where you get the Moabites from. The Atlanteans, as I showed you earlier, the Aztecs, the Carthaginians, the Etruscans, as I showed you a few minutes ago, the Hassians, the Inca, the Iroquois, which is the American, the Native Americans, as we showed you. It was with the Iroquois, which is the Chickasaw, which is the Cherokee that they did the Treaty of Peace and Friendship with on the river of Delaware in 1787. It was not in Morocco. It was done right here. In the Americas.
There's a high school in Marlton, New Jersey, in Burlington County called Cherokee High School. And right next to it, in the same town in Medford, the next town over in Medford, Lenape High School.
Yeah, right. So right here, the Lemurians, as we showed you, was us, right? The Moabites, as you see, the Olmecs, of course, is us, the Ottoman, right? Or the Ottoman Empire, the Phoenicians, the Powhatan, the Persians, the Saracens, the Sumerians, the Turks, British Empire, Moorish Empire, Spanish Empire, French Empire, Holy Roman Empire, that's all us. This what the guys was talking about when she was talking about, the Romans, them the fake, but the real was the Holy Roman Empire. The Habsburgs.
Habsburg's chin.
The Habsburgs
Joe.
was the real Holy Roman Empire. All right, and the Empress has lineage to all of that we just talked about. All right, she reveals that information, but you can get her book, Return of the Ancient Ones, all right, and she talks about it. But this is very important what she says right here, that 85% of the blacks over here in the Americas were already here before the slave trade. Only 15% of blacks came from Africa. We've been here, declared the Empress, explaining that the original Native Americans were mostly of dark complexion. She said that the Mongolian Indians of Hollywood fame were minority tribes in the Northwest and that was mixed with the blood of the Chinese invaders, who they refer to as the Yupik. All right. Now this is the Washita Nation of Moors, and this is a historical synopsis. But right here, Peru, Mexico, which is Isabella, Cuba, United States, Canada, and Alaska are European inventions which comprises the land of the cultured Moors. The descendants from the ancient Amorian nation, the Amoru, Washington Moors, the fathers of the civilization began of the great Alim empire of Mu, the Moria. When about 8,000 years ago, a natural catastrophe overwhelmed that ancient motherland, and some of its survivors made their way to what has been seen since been known as North, Central, and South America, or Mexico. Continue on. So right here, where did the name Washington come from? Originate? Once again, goes back to Egypt. Keep showing you. This is from the Book of the Dead by E.A. Wallace Budge, and he tells you to Washington, in the form of Heru, and was identified with the appearance of the sky in the north when the sun rose. She was either depicted in the form of a woman having upon her head the crown of the north and a scepter round which a serpent is twined, and as a winged Uraeus wearing the crown of the north. She was the principal goddess of the town of Butu in the delta. The goddess Washet, or as we say, Washeta, all right? You just put an A on it, it becomes Washeta, was the serpent-headed deity, right? So that is the exact same symbol of the ancient Egyptians with their crowns, all right? So you can get the Emperor's book, and of course, all that information I utilize within my book, The Global Path of the Ancient Ones, all right? The First World Order.
Which we manifested.
Yes.
That's 65.
Yes. Then you have, of course, I put in there about the American connection, and right here in the Universal, Webster Universal Dictionary 1936 edition and 37, I'm just going to read the 37. An Aboriginal, this is American, an Aboriginal, one of the various copper-colored natives found on the American continent by the descendants of European settlers. The following is the original application of the name Meru. Let's see what Meru. So many historians allege that the honor and the credit went to Americo Vespucci, an explorer. Colin did not discover anything, nor did Americo Vespucci, nor did they Europeans name it. The name America was developed from the Metronychian name, which means ancient Egyptian again, Meru, which means leader, chief, ruler. So this is why anybody who becomes the president of the United States becomes the leader of the free world. You get it?
Yep.
Wow.
As de facto as they are. All right? So right here, the word America is how the Greeks call Meru. It's pronounced what? Amaru. From the South African Indian term, what? Tupac. Amaru. The word America bears no relevance whatsoever to Americo Vespucci. This word is also borrowed by the Arabic language and is also called Amir, meaning ruler, governor, chief, prince, and etc. The Europeans' later corruption of the word Meru reads Moros. Moro becomes the capital of ancient what? Ethiopia, but it also becomes Monroe, which as in Louisiana, where its Property Point is located at.
Monrovia.
Now, the way you
Alright.
have that Tupac and then Amaru, are you saying that's?
That was the Inca king. His name was Tupac Amaru.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Also,
So,
there were pyramids in Sudan called the pyramids of Meru.
right, the pyramids of Monroe. Right. And which also, we know that there was 200 pyramids, over 250 pyramids, in which that was flooded with the Aswan Dam.
Yeah.
All right.
So what
So
connection?
they dammed up the water and then flooded the whole area of over 200 temples, about 250 temples, there in Nubia. All right. This is what they did to hide the information and show you the progression, as we talked about the day before yesterday, the progression of the pyramids. The God broke it down. How the Nubians had the pyramids, and then you can see the progression of those pyramids as we begin to start seeing how they became all over the world. All right, the various shapes.
So, the way Obama and Michelle did the triangle, when they did the triangle from when he went to Egypt.
Right, he went to Egypt and she went to Morocco.
Yeah.
And then America, that was
Right.
that's
And
time.
then-
That was tying the
And
whole.
then they had
that press
Hillary
conference.
Clinton at the time doing her press conference with the flags behind her, and then you
The
see
Lincoln
them
Road.
walking through.
The the
Morocco,
picture
right, with the two flags, right.
showing the connection,
Showing
how
the
it's
connection.
all
There
connected.
you go. Because once again, from the Hall of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, That was the Moorish Empire and the
AKA the
Marines.
world order.
Right, and the term Marines is
Marines.
Marines
Marines.
is showing you how they mock the Moors. That was
Right.
a mockery term.
Wow.
All right.
Morin.
Morin.
Morin means sailing, right?
Morin
Morin.
becomes the mockery term.
And
That's why
moron.
that's why the Marines are called jarheads. Hence morons, Marines. This is why they're the grunts. They're the ones who got to go in battle. You know what I'm saying? They're the
front line.
Right, they're the front
And
line.
they the craziest ones I've been
Of
hearing.
course, they're the junkheads.
That's the cannon fodder.
Right, the cannon fodder, right. But the Muru of India literature is none other than that of Monroe, Sheba, hence of the Sudan. A primitive,
No, primeval.
Excuse me, Monroe was a long ago lost cataclysm. The four kingdoms of the Shaka was Maga, Manga, Sahaka, Masaka, Mansa, as in Mansa Musa, all right, and
Mandinga.
Mandinga. Mandinga, that's what it is the Mandinka people.
Yeah.
Or the Dogon.
Wow.
The Mandinka people are one and the same. All right? The
Wow.
And they were the magicians. Yep. So right now, remember, make America great again. This is
MAGA?
This
Oh,
is,
shit.
You get it?
He's casting a spell.
You get it? They doing magic on you.
Oh my God.
MAGA, which is the African name for the people in which that are part of the four kingdoms, right? Who was the magicians, and they come up with a hat with the syllables.
Oh
Make
my
America
God.
Great again.
Oh my God.
Donald Trump ain't the idiot that people think he is.
Oh my God.
Look, I'm just telling you the science.
Jesus
is going on.
Christ.
All the Mecca of the Persian inscriptions. Now this becomes Mecca. That's Mecca. All right. So the Masaka, all right, and the Marata are called the basically the Castria. All right, and basically the Mandinga or the Manda, also referred to as the Mada or the Mandingas. All right, these Mandingas had a four-parent family connection to the ancient Mandi speakers of Africa, especially the Mandeans, see, who was often occupied the Dravidians out of the Middle Africa into Asia. In other words, they was the Ethiopians. All right, this is how you have Indo-Kush Mountain in India right now, because it was the Ethiopians.
Median,
Middle,
also has connotations in geography,
right,
places that.
and also media. The word media,
Yep.
as in magic,
So
once in.
how does that play into the word median for these people?
Right. Well, median.
Were they in the middle of something?
Yeah, they was the people who left from out of Africa, in particular Ethiopia, and then went into the middle portion of the what they would now refer to as, because you know, in between you got India, which is like the middle to basically to Africa and then to Asia. So yeah, they would be in the middle in that sense. All right, but it also connects to the fact that there was not just the Dravidians, but there was the pre-Dravidians. So there was the Tamil people. And the Tamil people was the people who followed Atum Ra. All right?
Yeah, 10 more minutes.
Right. So this explains the relationship between the Elamites and the Mandese languages. So the Kushites and the first cousin of the Kushite Mandi kingdom line of the white Olmec Asians traveled to the southeast of the West Nubian Sudan. Remember I told you that the tour guide told us in 2013 that the Olmecs built the pyramids?
Yes.
And in particular, Chichen Itza and Tulum, he said that there was one, he said, and I'm Mayan, and I'm telling you the truth.
Sure.
And they was Nubian Egyptians. This is how you get the Nubian Egyptians. The Olmecs Asian traveled to the southeast of the West Nubian Sudan, hence Egypt, and formed the ancient kingdoms of the what? Maya, Inca, Arawak, Carib, and the Chihuahua in South America.
Tell the truth.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's archaeological confirmation of all of that with the mud brick architecture that goes all the way up from the Americas
Right.
through Africa, through Iran, through Central Asia. I mean, it's mud brick all the way.
through it. See?
And the Dogon, the Malians are known for their mud brick masonry.
That's true.
So,
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I got this skip. But right, get the book, The Teachings of the Ptah-hotep, the oldest book in the world. In the book, this is by Asa G. Hilliard, Boule member. However, he tells you the secret that Meru means the guardians.
Of the galaxy.
All right?
Of
Tell
the
you they're guardians.
galaxy.
Now, go back one, and I can skip that next page. Right here, the most illustrious national name of America was therefore sacred to her people, written in their pictorial writing by a snake crossing a straight line and called what? Amaru, the great sun. All right, the Spanish colonials adopted the native name of America to designate the first settlement of the mainland of the New World. But in those days, the ruler of the orthography was undefined, and in addition to the numerous errors of printing, the name was spelled in any way which the writer considered most appropriate. Look at the names, how they spelled it. Hence, we have America not only written as what? America. America. Hold on, where y'all hold that at? Almaroc. Okay. What's that? America and America. And what's this? Morocco. What? Say it again? Morocco.
Morocco.
You got it. So see, this is how Morocco and America was connected in that sense. From the shores of what? From Montezuma to the shores of
Tripoli.
All right, so right here, you got the obscure mound builders was indigenous blacks of North American ancestors of the Americans, Washington Empire. All right, right here in the book Susa, Economics, the history of the Pan-American trade, commerce, wealth, money and wealth. These blacks found in the Americas. The mound builders, they was dark heads, dark-skinned, woolly-head blacks who was indigenous, native to North America and kin to the Olmecs of South America. The Olmecs and Washington, black Californians, Yamassees, and remember we showed you that the Lemurians was part of what? California. Remember California was part of the Lemurian Empire. So the black Californians was part of that empire. The Yamassees, the California, Nami, and the other pre-colonial blacks of the Americas was part of a prehistoric trade that began in Africa and spread basically worldwide over 1,000 years ago and at various periods afterwards. I say even further back than that. Continue on.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, get the book, Africans and the Native Americans, the language of the race and the evolution of red, black peoples. Taking the Caribbean to Europe and Africa, Columbus and the slave trade. And basically what he says, consequently, Columbus began to enslave the Taino Arawak people. Who were they? Columbus reached Levis in the March 1493. Many people came to see the captive Americans, and it was very easily likely that some of the latter was taken 9 leagues into the interior to the king of
Portugal.
There was 2 Americans drawing maps which shows that Lacayo, which is Bahamas, Cuba, Haiti, and the other islands, all right, may have also been Columbus left some Americans with the Portuguese, as discussed earlier. The second source of slaves, also 1500, was the Caribbean region, which was soon involved the adjacent coasts of South America, Florida, Carolinas, and Mesoamerica. Many Americans were taken as slaves to the east, to Spain, and to the Canary Islands, often as a result of the direct
Authorization.
of the crown. But the tens of thousands of Americans were disappeared after 1492 did not all die in the Holocaust inflicted upon the Americans. Many thousands were sent to Europe and America, where their descendants still
Africa. They were sent to Africa.
Yeah, they were sent to Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were sent to Africa. So the Carib and the Taino Arawak people never gone extinct. They still living in Haiti, Dominica, Jamaica, and other Caribbean islands and other parts of the world. So they still there. We seen them today.
Yeah.
These are the Taino people.
And they doing it the same way. She said English is their first language.
Yeah. All right. So now we get into the giants. So right here, slave species of the gods. This is Michael Intelligent. He shows you this footprint right here. You see how big that footprint is? More than 4 feet long.
Yeah.
This and it dates back 200 million years in South Africa.
And more than Bigfoot.
Oh no, that's bigger than Bigfoot.
No, bigger than Bigfoot. That's just the foot alone bigger as him.
Bigfoot is a branch of the family, but I get to
Okay.
that's another story.
All right.
But right now we talking about the gods.
Okay.
All right, continue on. All right, this is secret history of the Anunnakians.
My
This is
God.
a footprint. Continue on. So right here we got skeleton figures representing just a few giant human remains unearthed, documented in the historical record, along with the historical account of Goliath, who had 3 brothers. At least that's biblical story of what is told. But now we have, of course, present day man 6 feet. But then we got Turkey, found in the 1950s, 15 feet, 8'6". Caesar of Rome, 10'6". This is what it says in the Bible. Right here, 12 feet, 19.6, 23 feet, 25, 6.6, and 36 feet tall. This is in where? Carthaginian. All right, 36 feet tall, Carthaginian. The giants in the days of Noah were anywhere between 16 to 35 feet tall, and the giants before the flood were anywhere between 50 to 100 feet tall. You don't believe me? Here it is.
Oh
right
my
here.
God, where is that?
That's right there.
Oh no.
That's right there in Peru. This is the mud flood that the goddess is talking about.
Oh my God.
That's how he got destroyed, was through the mud flood. And he laid down after the mud and
And
then
got
become petrified.
petrified.
And therefore,
Ooh.
he goes from the face.
Hey, go back, go back, go back.
Go back.
Oh my
All right, so
God.
right here, fossils, soft tissue bodies, encased in mud sliders or
Oh
floods.
my
The
God.
tissue is invaded by minerals and bones get replaced by minerals. The bones turn to stone and the body fluids turn into crystals. So you want to know where the crystals come from?
Wow.
Yeah.
They Oregon?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, are
So
we gonna
this-
make
this-
for
hold on.
dinner? Are we gonna miss dinner tonight?
No, we're not missing it.
It's
Continue
8
on.
o'clock.
All right, keep going. Hold on. No, wait till we try, write them down. Please write them down.
And we talk about it tonight at dinner.
Yeah, we talk about it tonight at dinner. All right, so right here. So this is the average man, and this is how 36 feet looks.
Oh, that's
Alright.
7.6,
All
okay.
right, yeah. Continue on. All right, here it is. Another example. 6 feet. Go back. Go back 6 feet. 36 feet. Once again, continue. These are the skulls that they found. Continue on. This is right here. Go back. This was found in Greece. Continue on. All right, this was found in Texas. All right, so right here. Yeah, this is, go back. So right here, giant skeleton, 18 feet tall. Right there.
Everything is big in Texas.
July 11th. July 11th.
That's why it's so big.
Here it is, July 11th, 1919, Friday, 1919.
Wow, that's when it
They
was.
messing up stuff.
Yeah, 1919. So there it is, 18 feet, 18 feet. This is it right here. All right. We can read it out later. Let's continue on. All right. This is found in Maryland. This is giant skeleton
In
found
Maryland?
Maryland. Yes. Continue on. Continue on. All right. This is another one here found. Continue on. All right. There you go.
Wow.
Found another one. 18 feet height. Once again, they found another one. Continue on. Found another one. Keep finding them. They
Why
keep
they-
finding them.
why they
Keep finding them.
hiding
Keep
still?
finding them.
Because we got
Oh,
old
they-
friends working at McDonald's.
they're not hiding it. It's in National Geographic. Unearthing the giant.
We distracted with the
Unearthing the
game
giant.
Yeah.
That's
and
in
paying
National.
bills.
That's in National Geographic. Continue on.
Mm.
All right. So between 1894 and 1921, meteorologist and also archaeologist William Nevins discovered ancient cities in Mexico that dated to the beginning of the Pleistocene era, which was 2.5 million years ago. Some cities was built further into the Titanian era, and it says what? Beneath volcanic ashes, Nevins recovered over 2,600 stone tablets, as well as what?
Modern human skulls that show Negro genetic
It
markers.
say Aborigine.
There you go.
Johnny
Nevins
Aborigine.
Guerrero collection.
No, that's somebody who
Put his name on it.
yeah, put
Alright,
yeah,
so-
did the
All right,
research.
This is Virginia Stein McIntyre, who I was telling you about yesterday. All right, the day before yesterday.
Wow.
Then she found cities going back over 250,000 years to 350,000 years ago. All right, she found cities. All right, so what happened was that they told her to take some zeros off, and she said, "I ain't doing jack." Continue on. All right, so get these books. African presence in ancient America, they came before Columbus, and then African presence in America before Columbus by Floyd Hayes. This is coming from what they never told you in history class.
These are the Olmec.
Right, these are back in the identity of the spiritual civilization down to remote to detail in the Sudan and in Mexico. So Africa and Africa and in America was always connected because it says in anywhere elsewhere in America led to the assumption that the other cultural elements identical in both continents and frequently bearing the same names of African origin. All right, so
That's the end.
all right. So the black began his career in America not as a slave but as master.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
And look at these right here.
right,
Yo, we got it.
right. So it says the first Americans were black. There you go. Keep going.
After they dug them up, they buried them
They
back.
try to bury them back.
Look at
Yeah,
it.
this is in Egypt because they always tell you that. Well, hold up, the Egyptians didn't wear oh yeah, but the TWA did. Here they are right here, and they wearing that same type of hat.
So-
And they look the same way. Yeah.
Like the Aztecs done stole the stuff.
Yeah, but continue on. Yeah, go through them. Yeah, this is C.C. McQueese. He said that all the stuff that he found that Mexico, America was a Negro continent. That's what he said.
Let's say cosmic niggas.
Yeah, don't
You
read
get distracted.
none of that. That's just the person who put their name on it. Yeah, they just threw their name on it. But right here, it says giants in Mexico, Nephilim among the Toltec and who? The Olmecs. The Olmecs were giants. So when we've gone up them steps like this
Yeah.
yesterday,
Yeah.
that's because right. That's what I'm talking about. So they said the Olmecs were giants. All right, this is what it says. All right, you can get this from the book, The North Americans of Antiquity.
Antiquity.
1880. Get that book. All right, so he tells you in there that the Olmecs were giants. All right, continue on. All right, continue on. All right, I just want to put this in here. The Royal African Company of England. That's where the term race comes from. This is what they got us messed up with.
The acronym,
It's
yeah.
an acronym.
Acronym.
It's an acronym for the Royal African Company of England. RACE, race. All right, and what was it? A joint stock company. Still stock company to this day. They call the New York Stock Exchange. All right, that's where they race. That's the race because that's where they put your birth certificate on. Which that's why they classify you as a race so that you can be sold on the stock market. All right, now I'm officially finished. Peace.
Oh, peace, yeah.
Let's go.
Wait.
Let's
And
go
just
eat.
to be clear, that's every baby born in the United States.
Every baby
Every
born.
baby.
Yeah,
Every baby born.
everybody.
Yes, everybody.
It's
Like where we went.
so
That
cool.
was where we went yesterday.